Hola, hola, hola. Wherever we are, we're going to be opening up those directions. Before we do so, we want to land into our bodies and land back into our breaths, whether you're waking up from a nap, coming from work, closing that computer from work, or putting down the rake because you were outside. We're all going to begin with landing. And so we're going to rise for landing. I want to be standing. Playing with our weight and our balance and pushing my toes, playing up on the balls of my toes to from the balls of my feet to the front of my toes, just playing, maybe swaying. It's one of my favorite phrases my mom talks a lot about. Sometimes they find stillness, we need to create more chaos. Allowing movement to be a part of that practice, allowing stretching up. Oh, stretching out your body. And inviting breath to be a part of this experience. So allowing yourself to inhale with intention in through the nostril, inhaling in honey and molasses and non-processed sweetness, like the sweetness of a fruit, of a jackfruit, the sweetness of an Asian pear. Inhaling in through the nostril. Exhaling out. Gentleness for everyone else who we're sharing a circle with. Inhaling in. Sweetness for ourselves, tenderness for ourselves, humility for ourselves, presence for self. And exhaling out. Tenderness for everyone else in the circle. Exhaling out. Compassion for everyone else in the circle. Inhaling in at your own rhythm, just making sure that however you inhale, let it be the way that we should be giving and receiving. So if you inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let go through your mouth for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So practicing in a couple of inhales at your own pace, making sure that you're equally receiving, equally holding, equally giving. Next breath, turning to your direction of the east. Allowing your chest to open, inhaling your shoulders back so your chest is protruding up and up towards the direction of the east. Allowing your hands to be by your side or be raised up. We begin here. Eyes may be closed, eyes may be open. Om Mateo. Om Mateo, gran dirección del este, to the great direction of the east, to the great Om Mateo. We come here to open up the portal. In my traditions, the portal of the east is guarded by Quetzalcoatl, la serpiente emplumada, the snake that is plumed. Here is the smell of copal. Here is that sacred smoke that is born through every sunrise, that is born through every moment of hope, that is born through that first light, that first message that gets sent up to the ancestors lies here. To the direction of the east, we welcome in that medicine of beginning. For we are beginning every time we breathe. For we are beginning with every day. For we are beginning with every moment, creating anew. To the great direction of the east, we welcome in any spirit, any plant, any mineral ally, any store to this direction that can teach us about what it means to carry the seed and to honor the seed within us. Here we remember the direction of the east reminds us that we were all put in this earth for a specific purpose, for the specific moment. We were all put on this earth as this very special seed. Its color, its shape, its texture, and the plant and flowers it blooms, only we can know, and only we learn that through the process of discovery. Only we learn that through the process of living a good life. And so, the direction of the East, we ask any medicine, any lessons, any affirmations on the paths that we're choosing to be on, and any affirmations we're choosing that we're needing for this moment in our lives, in what's next, during these times that have been uncertain for our people. The direction of the East, we welcome in that medicine, the medicine of the seed, the medicine of child, the medicine of the bananitos that lie ahead. To the magic direction of the East, we welcome you by saying, offering the word of affirmation, saying, Oh, Mateo. Turning our attention now to the great direction of the South. Hola, gran dirección del sur, to the great direction of the South. We, your humble children here, are come to open up your portal. We welcome in the medicine of the warriors in this direction. The warriors who are no longer children, who are no longer the seed, the dream, the hope, the vision, but are the visionaries in action. Here, the seed has shaken through its seed coat, busted out, choosing to be touched by the elements, throwing their roots down into the earth's core to feel the fire, and pushing up through the seed coat to above earth, above the ground, to feel the element of water and wind. To the direction of the South, we welcome in all the warriors who lie here, the juveniles who are out in the streets and who continue to plan our Black Lives Matter protests, who are making sure we remember all Black trans names, and are making sure that our Indigenous women come home, and are making sure that our queer siblings have a space at our table, and that the table is big enough for all of us. Here, direction of the South, we welcome in all those warriors, all those revolutionaries that we come from, and we welcome that revolutionary inside of us, understanding that for us to be revolutionary doesn't look one way. It looks many ways. The question is, what is my just right, just rebellious action? And that changes within every day, and that changes within our lifetime. So honor what you're hearing when you ask that question. So to the direction of the South, we welcome in that medicine of the warrior, that medicine of no longer being a seed, but being a warrior in action, daring to be alive in this time, be awakened during this time, being conscious during this time. To the great direction of the South, where the great Huitzilopochtli lives, who gives us fuerza de voluntad, who gives us will and determination, we offer a word of affirmation saying, Oh, Meteo, che. Oh, Meteo. O Meteo, la gran dirección del poniente, to the great direction of the west. We come to open up your portal. Here in the Mexicayo, the guardian Xipetotec lives here, aka the flailed one, the one whose literally cuts up their skin, their old skin. They open it up so they can give birth to new skin, to a new human. They sacrifice themselves every time we enter this direction. The direction of the west is observed during sunset time. So right now, if you're on the East Coast, we are in the direction of Xipetotec. They also call this, right, the witch's hour, right? This is a time where the world is sublime, where the worlds are blurring, where the night reality and the daytime reality are one, they're dancing, they're playing. The direction of the west is where we are no longer the seed, the dream. We are no longer the rebel, the sprout, but we are living that future we deserve. We are living what we've been fighting for. We've been living that liberation, that work that we're doing in our communities, at the gardens, and with our students, with our family members, with our partners, with our co-ops, with our art, with our music, with our community organizing, with even my accountant job, right? Whatever it is that you're doing, that you're feeding, this is where our dreams become reality. This is revolution in action. This is living the dream that we've been fighting for. That's the direction of the West. And the direction of the West is stewarded by the medicine keepers, which in all of our traditions, I can go toe to toe with you about it, have been kept by trans, two-spirit, gender variant rebels. And so to those homies who lie in this direction, to those who are taken during childbirth, and those who are reborn during giving childbirth, because that is a death that happens and a rebirth that happens. No one's ever the same after that process. We welcome you into this medicine circle. Please guide my tongue, guide my heart. Please help us connect with this ancient medicine that is ours, collectively ours, and this collective responsibility to remember the queer in us and the brujes in us. To the sweet direction of the West, we offer a word of affirmation, much humility and gratitude, saying, Oh, Mateo. Oh, Mateo. Oh, Mateo, to the great direction of the North. Here, I come to open up your portal, acknowledging we are no longer the dream, the seed, no longer the rebel, the sprout, no longer living in our revolution, blooming our fruits and eating them up, all the juiciness that they are. But here we are the plant that knows how to give itself back, a plant that knows that regeneration is necessary because that's a natural process. Living forever is not real, it's a construct. We don't actually want that, our bones are going to be falling apart. And so the direction of the North, we welcome in that medicine of compost. Welcome in the medicine of what it means to give yourself back into the earth. Many of our traditions, one of our first traditions that were lost during colonization was our burial practices. Our burial practices were one of the first things lost. We were able to hide our food, our magic herbs, our magic recipes, even some of our healing modalities and stories, our songs. But one of the things that was really lost in the process of colonization has been our death rituals. We are grieving that we don't know how to grieve anymore. And the direction of the North reminds us of that's where all of our ancestors lie. In every cosmology that I've been trained in or have privy to, around the world, in the ancestors lie in the North. I think it's because of that connection to the star people and the stars. And so here we honor all those ancestors. Here we ask to remember those death rituals right now during these times so we may grieve properly. We remember what it means to honor the deaths that happen in us every single day with the out-breath. The deaths that happen in us when our ideas change, the deaths in our relationships, the deaths that we experience are all collectively experiencing that are physical within our own families, our own communities, and those that we are connected to, even to those that we are not connected to. Death impacts us all. To the great direction of the North, welcoming any medicine that you have to offer us, offering you a humble word of affirmation. Oh, Mateo. Okay. Facing the sky. I'm facing my roof. I like to keep my eyes open for the star people. I like to envision little stars twinkling up even when it's like I'm not outside. And I love stretching my hands up so I can get that stretch in as I'm greeting the star people, and also stretches my heart right to them. And so, oh, Mateo, great direction of the sky people, star people, cosmic ones, planets, angelic ones, and unicorns. We welcome you into this magic sacred container. We welcome you to guide us, illuminate our way, and we welcome you to remind us. Please nudge us with the reminder that we are made up of the same cosmic stardust that created this universe. Literally, the Big Bang lives inside of us. The Big Bang lives inside of us. May we remember that medicine of potentiality, that capacity to create, that capacity too, though, to destroy. Both being equally important, beautifully important to the process of living and experiencing. To the star people, we ask you to continue to rain down your medicine, rain down astrological magic on us, teachings on us. We understand that we are servants to the planets, servants to the stars. May we continue to look up at you, understanding that there's still less pollution out. So even in a city, we get to see you. When we go out and see you at night, even if just for a brief moment, to have that connection with vastness, have that connection with what is bigger than us, have that connection with who is older than us, have that connection to we ain't gonna live forever, and that's really beautiful because these stars are, and they're witnessing our story. So whenever you don't have someone witnessing you in your life, hearing you in your life, remember you are always being witnessed by the stars. We welcome in that medicine of witnessing, dear star ones. Much humility and gratitude. We say, we offer a word of affirmation. Oh, Mateo. Che. Okay. gently and lovingly and aware of their surroundings, fires and waters and altars and otherwise, coming down to the direction of tierra or tonantzin, aka earth. Oh, Mateo. Hola, sweet creator, sweet earth. I hear your humble children have come tonight to ask the stewards of the lands that we are on. I asked for the stewards of the Lenape people and the Mushkumun people for permission to be here tonight, to host ceremony tonight, to host circle tonight. We're here for a healing. We're here for our own healing, the healing of those people in our families, those people in our communities. We're here for the larger collective healing. We're here, guardians of the land, into the land yourself. We're here to do better. We're here to acknowledge that we walk upon the back, the bones, the blood of a breathing, conscious, insensate being. Great Mother, you feel all. You feel from spaces of intuition and feel from spaces of knowing. And you feed us some of your messages. And here today you're here to do a little better, to listen a little better, and to be responsible for the messages that we receive, sharing them when and where they need to be sharing them. We're here, Mother, too, to ask for forgiveness. We're here, Mother, to ask forgiveness for any moment which we have walked upon your back and have forgotten to walk upon the back of a secret being. Great Mother, we're here to ask forgiveness for any moment which we walk upon your back and hold ill thoughts, ill will, gossip towards other people, for they are sacred and deserve to be honored in all their sacredness. Great Mother, we're here to ask forgiveness before you to ourselves for any moment we have caused harm to ourselves with ill thoughts, poor relations, poor boundaries, poor honoring of our own boundaries. We're here to forgive ourselves, and we're here to ask for forgiveness, both equally true and equally important. Great Mother, we're here to offer you gratitude. We're here to lay down our tobacco, gift you our waters after the circle, light our candles for you, offer seeds, offer songs, not just take from you. We're not into that kind of herbalist experience, you know. We're here to be earth keepers. We're earth keepers in training, here to understand that all earth keepers have in common is that they communicate with the earth. It's not gender, but it's a desire to protect you and to know that you need protection, because you're telling us you need protection from other humans. You need protection from the ways in which we want to dominate this world, and we want to dominate you, Mother. We're here to become earth keepers, to heal your wounds, to help lick your wounds with you, to help preserve your blood, your water, to help preserve your body, your soils. We're here when we take in the right way, offering our gratitude. We're only taking just what we need, never harvesting more than what is needed, never hoarding our medicine, never hoarding our food, never hoarding our water. We can't hoard, we can't keep, we have no ownership over parts of you. No one has ownership over you. And so, Great Mother, we're here to ask for forgiveness. We're here to do better. We're here to listen to your messages, and we're here to learn with you. With much humility, gratitude to you, Great Mother, we offer a word of affirmation saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my God. Much gentleness to your body. You're just coming to seated. Your eyes may remain closed or they may open. Laying your hands on a part of your body that represents the center for you today. Allowing that space to shift. Commonly, people think of the center as our heart or our navel, our belly. That connection to the mother of our mother, the mother of our mother. In the great direction of the center. We begin and we close each circle practice here at the center. For at the center live the teachings of Inakech, of I am your other you and you are my other me. Here at the center, we acknowledge, we're working to understand that any harm done onto you, your people, your family member, your loved one, is harm done onto me and my people, my family member and my loved one. Here at the center, we understand that your victories are our victories. Here at the center, we understand that there's no such thing as their struggle or theirs or theirs or theirs. These are our struggle. Colonizer has thrived out of fragmentation, thrived out of making us believe that we are not in this together, thrive making us believe that these are separate struggles, but they are one, and they are against colonial structures and white supremacist structures. They stand in the way of our collective liberation. Here at the center, we remember that there's no such thing as freedom unless we all address our anti-Blackness. There's no such thing as freedom for one people without all people. Here at the center, we breathe in. We breathe out. There's a lot to hold at the center. Yourself, the I, the we. It's a crowded house, and it's already hot out, so it might feel really crowded. It might be really hot. But let me promise you this: at the center is a recognition too that we are not alone. The center is a recognition too that we are not struggling alone. This is not the I struggle, the I activist, the one revolutionary. No, this is about all of us together, working together. This is about allowing one of our members to fall down and fall apart so they can fall back together again. And we keep it going so that they can tap in so then we can fall apart. This is about sharing the responsibility, not all of us burning out at once. This is about caring for each other by caring for ourselves. This is not about self, the concept of self-care as an individual act. This is the concept of self-care as a revolutionary act, like Audre Lorde speaks of it. Here at the center lives all of that great medicine. Here at the center lives love. Here at the center lives joy. Here at the center lives remembrance. Inhaling in through the nostril, allowing those messages to land. Exhaling out through the mouth, any doubt and insecurity that you may have about connecting with this part of yourself, the center and the collective. Inhaling in, exhaling out. Oh, Meteo. If you have your blessing herb with you, which I always recommend you have one blessing herb, one smoke, one Florida water, one something, rose water, to keep yourself, to help with that subtle body connection. Remember, the subtle body is that like film that's around you and inside, weaving in and out of you. It's not something you can touch, but it's something you can feel very intensely. And we feel that sometimes when we rub our hands together and we feel the energy, the connection that's there. And sometimes we feel that with our herbs, the smoke, the way that it's reaching our body, it changes the frequency. So it's part of why I invite you to bring that with you. And so, Much Melody, I'm going to call us to open the video feature on this situation. That's calling to you today, and we'll be opening our talking circle. So the prompts are your name, your pronouns, the lands you are on, how is your heart, and are there any plant ancestors that you're journeying with currently that you just want to give a public shout out to? You know, at like community organizing meetings, you're like shouting out members, you're shouting out events. Let's shout out the plants who are holding us down, or who are holding us down even just by looking at them, because we're walking by, you're like, I don't know that name of that tree, but it looks like this and I love them. Whatever's coming through. So I'm gonna mute myself now.
Hi, everybody. Anju, they, them on Dakota and Anishinaabe lands. I am in Grief Town, but I'm moving through it. And Linden, the tree, the whole tree has been really grounding for me. Like putting my hands on the tree, on Linden specifically, feels really good. And Oat Straw, I want to shout out Oat Straw for always holding my hand and helping me move through the tougher stuff. But yeah, I think I've been in transition. I've been in grief mode. I've been trying to nourish the people around me while also trying to nourish myself and strike that balance. But yeah, Linden and Oat Straw, nourishing. And also Damiana has been fun for me and also for the people around me. It's something that I've shared with people that I live with, and they found a lot of opening and joy in that. So I'm grateful to Damiana for being a connector in that way too.
Hello, I'm Kaylin. I'm on, pronouns she, her, hers, on Patwin and Southern Wintun lands. And I don't know, I've been feeling pretty down lately, or like my body is pretty out of sorts. And there's been a lot going on with me, so I can sort of imagine why my body is feeling that way, but it's just been kind of hard to navigate that and figure out what to do to support myself while still showing up for other people and like going through this transition phase that I'm going through. And so I have been still hanging out with Lyndon, but I'm not really feeling a strong connection. I feel like I wasn't as intentional about going back to journeying with them because I was just sort of like, oh, I don't have any more oat straw, but I have a lot of Lyndon left, so I'm going to journey with them because they're very sweet. And I enjoyed the 3 weeks that I spent with them before, but it wasn't like I'm feeling called. Like I didn't do that sort of meditation that is at the end of our every module about who we want to work with and why. But I did see these really beautiful yellow flowering plant ancestors on the way to driving to water with a loved one, and they were just like all along the road and they were really calling to me. But I don't know what their name is or anything. So that's the plant ancestor that I want to shout out and just say that I'm holding a lot of space for all of you. I'm kind of like feeling the energy of all of us just being like, and I just want to say I'm here for you, and also just want to uplift everybody who wasn't able to make it here.
I'll go. Naomi, she, her. I'm newly on, forgive me for reading because I literally got here last week, but newly on Kickapoo, Peoria, and Potawatomi lands, otherwise known as Chicago. So still learning about those histories. So yeah, I moved recently, and during a pandemic, that's not really what I wanted to be doing, but it in so many ways was for the better. So that transition, still settling into that and feeling a little bit of kind of disconnect and trying to fit routines and healing and everything into this new routine. And been feeling very not grounded, which might be because we are now on the 8th floor of an apartment building, but also might be due to the move. And today I've been really, really off and wondering why. And I was kind of thinking about the herbs and thinking about where I was, and cinnamon was like, come on, like drink me, come on, let's go. So made some of that and looking forward to working with them again because it's been a few weeks. Otherwise, yeah, I've been hurting myself a lot lately physically on accident, and I'm not a clumsy person, so I don't know what that's about. So trying to dig into that. Yeah, I'm excited to be back here with everybody.
Hi, I can go. I'm Jeannie. I use she, her pronouns. I am calling in from Wampanoag, Wampanoag, Black Liberator lands. Colonized name is Boston. And I guess I'll start with plant ancestors I'm journeying with. So I'm welcoming a new plant ancestor as my blessing herb, cedar. And I'm really excited. I found, scavenged, I don't know. My neighbor's tree is made of cedar, and I wrapped a bunch and dried a bunch. So I just feel such a connection in having that, going through that process with them, and being also to see the tree and see them every day outside the window and be like, hello, you're here, and also you're here. So I'm really excited to welcome them. I've been journeying with linden and oat straw, and I'm feeling a particular connection with linden. I'm seeing linden trees everywhere, and it's really amazing to be able to say like, wow, I know who you are. And I'm ponds, go out by a neighbor's place, like street trees. We have an arboretum here, and being able to say hello, and like feel their magic. Let's see. And I asked the heart whether I wanted to welcome a new one, and I got a clear no. So I think I'm gonna continue working with Linden. My heart. I think I'm just really happy to be here with all of you. I'm also in a place of transition, not physically, but heart and also like mind. I will say that I recently had a romantic friend stay with me for about 3 weeks after not seeing them for several months. So that's really have lifted my spirits. But now I'm transitioning back to not having them around, and trying to feel like what is sustainable in all of this, and staying connected and feeling this like, come and go. And I think my last thing on my heart is that I'm feeling really drawn to water and the ocean, but feeling like I can't get that satisfied because I can't access the ocean. I don't have a car, don't have friends or acquaintances that could take me with pandemic in mind. So I feel like there's something that's deep within me, really needing the ocean and the water, but really having a hard time connecting with it. I've been sneaking onto and hopping a fence to go on a dock on the pond, but that's not quite the same. Thank you all for holding me.
I can go next. Can everyone hear me all right? Awesome. I moved to the porch for today's session. So I don't know how my internet is here, but hopefully it's fine. Yeah, Leilani, they, them pronouns. I've been having like a lot of adventures with plant ancestors the last few weeks. After the last time we were together, Damiana was too intense for me. I cried a big cry, which was great to release, but I was like, I'm not ready for this kind of relationship right now. And I really love hearing everyone talk about how Linden has been popping back up in their lives, because Linden has also come back into my life, similar to Jeannie. I've been seeing Linden everywhere. And so, yeah, I've been just journeying with them. Recently I picked some flowers from a tree that still had blooms, and just soaked them in water. I've been continuing my journey with raspberry, and feeling really connected with raspberry. in all ways, like with their leaves, their fruits, even their spines, and up in my arms. And then I've been also journeying with lemon balm. Lemon balm and I kind of go way back, so they're one of the first herbs too that I journeyed with. And when I've been having like a lot of just kind of like stressful moments the last few weeks, and really turned to lemon balm to help me out through that. And then calendula has been like popping up all over the place too. So I'm just been really enjoying being in their presence. They've really self-seeded all over in all of the gardens that I've tended in like the past few years, which has been great. I feel like everywhere that I've been like popping up to water or take care of plants, there's calendula all over the place. So I'm like, okay, so good to see you here, including on my porch right now. Yeah, so those are kind of the plants ancestors that have been really helping me through. I'm also going through a pretty big transition, so I feel like I've been just needing a lot of herbs that are gentle, which is why I think Damiana was too intense for me. I'm like getting ready to leave my job in 3 weeks, which I have like mixed feelings. I really love the community work that I do and the community that I work with, and I like hate the nonprofit industrial complex. So one of those things where I'm like really sad to leave the people, but really great to like super relieved to leave the job. And I'm getting ready to move. I've been in I forgot to say, I'm in the Massachusetts Wampanoag, Ponkapoag lands. And I've been here for 10 years. And I am moving to Oregon, which is someplace that I've only ever been once. I'm very excited and also like really scared. So I've been just needing like gentle herbs to kind of like get me through these next 3 weeks for work, and then the next like month and 3 weeks before I leave. Thanks, everyone. So good to see y'all.
Hi everyone, good to see you all. Jahila, she, her pronouns, calling from Wampanoag, Ponkapoag, Massachusetts, and Black Liberator lands in Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts. I've also been just like loving the plants and being in a relationship with them the last few weeks. All the flowers are out, and it just like brings so much beauty and joy to my life. And I am also moving to Oregon at the end of the summer. But for me, it's a return. Those are the lands that I grew up on. And so I've been noticing a lot of the plants that are like the plants that I grew up with, and like seeing them around my neighborhood in Jamaica Plain. And there's raspberry, red raspberry, and also the lavender's coming up, and so I love like rubbing my fingers on it and like smelling it. And I think that smell reminds me of my mom, and she would always give us little lavender and tell us to smell it when we needed to calm down, like if we were going to be traveling or like going to someone else's house. So little things like that. And besides them, I'm still hanging out with oat straw, just for overall nourishment. And recently also a little bit of aloe and cucumber to help cool me down because my apartment is very warm. Yeah, and just really grateful to be with you all. Yeah, love seeing you.
Hi, all. I'm Alicia. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm on the lands of the Abenaki and Wabanaki people in so-called Maine. So Jeannie, I know this isn't enough, but you know, I'm right here in the ocean, and I will send you some energy when I'm there. But yeah, I think I've been trying to do some of the work with the, you know, the sacral work of the previous module, and encountering a lot of like just like not enoughness or like sensations of like brokenness, and you know, not this enough, not white enough, not brown enough, not you know, all the things, not femme enough, not this enough, not sexual enough, you know, just like really encountering these like woof, that's sort of like stuff I think I thought I had healed that maybe I hadn't. Oh, it feels vulnerable to share, but I appreciate you all holding. So I think I've been working with that, and I've been journeying some with Raspberry Leaf, who like actually had like just a very specific recollection with meeting that plant, and so I've been kind of working with Raspberry Leaf. But I've also been working some with rose, but because the rose grows right at the ocean here, so it was just like this beautiful connection. I haven't, so I've been spending a lot of time with rose. And the other plant that I've met, which is kind of cool, is like, or I've known them my whole life, but I've re-met like seagrass or eelgrass, I guess it's called, or they're called. And what I've learned about them recently is that they were originally a land plant, so they have like this unique role of actually having roots and root systems in the underwater, in the ocean, in the sea, and other ocean plants aren't like that. So there's kind of this beautiful transitional plant that like lives in this where land meets. I've been sitting with seagrass too and feeling really held there. So thank you for for hearing and honoring. And I'm really excited and happy to honor and hear you all too.
Thank you all. My name is Huli. I use they, them pronouns, and I am on Wampanoag, Wampanoag, Massachusetts, Black Liberator lands. Yeah, and thank you, Kaylin, for calling in our loved ones that are not with us today. Just want to emphasize that and hold that dearly. I have been loving burdock since we first got intimate with them here, and they popped up in my garden that week, and I made my first tincture out of them, and it's been super sweet to just feel them inside of me in a more intimate way, step outside and see them and just make them offerings, and to just like be able to like return to them for spaciousness, thinking about their big leaves, and the grounding. And yeah, Alicia, a lot of what you just said really, really resonates with where I've been. So thank you for that. I noticed, I've been thinking about you all a lot in the past few days, noticing just myself feeling absent from the group chat, and that feeling like a marker of some sort of like disconnection or resistance that I was feeling to the sacral chakra work. And yeah, I was just like, and so I felt like I had to like, let me return to this before we move on to module 4. And so I spent this weekend just like going back to a lot of the reflection questions that I just kind of, I graced over in a way that I hadn't done for the other modules. I'm like, what is this? Like, what is here? And yeah, I like started a year ago doing a lot, like a really deep dive into some like pleasure-based work and healing and consent work and relationship, and like in a deeper way than I'd ever done. And this whole year has been a journey of just like feeling, sitting as comfortably as I can in my nose, and like when I just really don't want to do something, and like noticing all the ways in which I've been taught to feel unworthy, or like I'm not going to get love if I say no, and like following that thread all year. And one of the things that it's brought me to is a feeling of like inquiries around whether or not I feel like I'm on the asexual spectrum. And that's been, it's been good to find something to name how I feel, and also hard. Like, it's really hard to be like, oh yeah, I actually like don't really want to have sex that often, or I go in and out of like periods where I feel really good and with other types of intimacy and don't really think about sex. And like, what does that mean? Like, and just fears and moving through a lot of tears of just like releasing so much baggage and so much unlearning around, yeah, what that would mean for me and my like lovability or whatever, how lovable I am. So I noticed that like that was there for me with this past module, and like because I've been feeling very like I don't feel anything down there as of the past few months. And it feels good, like it feels okay. But so there was something about the like bringing this up in collective learning together that I felt like, but I'm shut off there right now. And so I'm not going to delve into these questions. But yeah, so this weekend I actually just like revisited that and just came back to like, I don't know, trying to look at things with a different angle, and began to explore just like what my sensuality and like access to intimacy can feel like, again, like without sex, which yeah, might feel obvious, but like I was stuck. Yeah, and so Calendula and Damiana came through, and I lathered myself up in oil yesterday and woke up, and I drank some tea and went and picked the calendula flowers, like had the whole process of making the oil to like at the end of the night. My partner and I gave each other massages. And so it was really sweet to be like, okay, like, you know, there are ways to be gentle here and to access this and be creative and just make room for the pain and the confusion that is there also. So thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to be with you all.
Hi, friends. I'm Nakia. I have she, her pronouns. I'm reporting live from Pomo Lands, so-called Mendocino County, California. And these past couple weeks, I've been living on this herbalist property. So I've been connecting with all kinds of herbs and plants and not ingesting a ton of them, but more preparing them for the future, which hour north, and she has this giant reservoir, and it's like over 100 here this whole week. So I was like, I'm just gonna spend a day in the water, and it was so refreshing, and it was just like being baptized. I described it as being baptized while surrounded by fish and seaweed, and like super cleansing and really quiet, and just like it was totally worth the drive, and then like this 20-minute hike up the hill, which was really amazing. But then I also ran into some people that I know from Oakland, and they were like, we too are traveling, and they had like crossed pods, and they were like drinking whiskey on the lake, and it was all of a sudden like so overstimulating and like so much information and so much energy, and my anxiety was just like through the roof. And it's got me thinking a lot about like how and when will I be able to socially reintegrate myself into society? And I have no answers and no idea when it's happening, but I feel grateful to, at least for this time when I can figure it out and find some grounding out in the wilderness. It's been really, really beneficial. And ironically, one of the plants that I've been connecting with the last couple of weeks has been lemon balm, because all of it is about to flower here. So we've been harvesting it like crazy. And also, I seem to have confused chamomile and feverfew. And I thought that I was collecting and working with a bunch of chamomile, and turns out that it's feverfew. So I'm very much looking forward to creating a stronger relationship with them.
Hi everyone, I'm Afra. I use she, her pronouns. I'm on Wampanoag, Ponkapoag, and Black Liberator lands. I'm like already feeling emotional before saying much. And I don't think I realized like how much emotion I've been carrying and just sitting with until right now. But yeah, in terms of plants that I've been working with, I'm continuing to work with cedar as a blessing herb, and I moved on from working with nettle about maybe 2 to 4, I don't know, time is confusing, a while ago. Now I'm working with reishi as my nourishing herb, and she's been wild. um, I don't know if you might remember that, like last time that I think it was last time that we met, I shared that my message from nettle had been really strong, where like I was getting messages that like it was time to move on from nettle, but I was kind of putting it off. And then one day I like just spilled it all over myself before I could even really drink much. The same shit happened as soon as I switched to reishi. Like I made the reishi infusion, and I think a day or two later it just poured all over me. And I was like, what the fuck? Like maybe reishi isn't it either. And I want to actually give a shout out to Kavana, who I know is not on this call, but she actually pushed me, and she was like, maybe they're testing you. Like maybe they want to see if you're committed. And she was like, nettle wasn't that easy to start with either. And I was like, fuck. So I've persevered with reishi, and yeah, she's subtle. For me, like what she's really moving through me are dreams. I'm not someone who usually remembers dreams so much, and I've been having these like apocalyptic dark dreams. And it's not that they're necessarily like scary, but they feel really raw and really honest. And I think that things are surfacing for me through this dream work that I've been afraid to like mess with. And so I feel like there's a clearing that's happening. I actually was just looking at my notes and read that reishi is also supportive with like connecting with death. And I hadn't been thinking about that until just now. My partner's aunt, like very, very deeply loved aunt, just passed away a week ago, and she and I had a special connection, and he had a special connection with her as well. There's a lot of heaviness around this. She was queer and just never really got to like live out loud in the ways that I think she really deserved to. And so there's different levels to this grief of like losing a loved one, honoring ways that she lived a lot quieter than I think she should have. And I've been supporting my partner with like moving through that grief and moving through my own as well, because it hits close to home. And there's ways that I've felt energetically able to connect with my partner's Thea, who like I didn't know that well, like on the literal sense of like spending time together in person, but energetically I feel like we just like knew each other. And so I feel like I've been really able to connect with her. And actually, I hope I'm not like sharing too much, but there was a bit of like stuckness in the family with people not wanting her to leave, like people wanting her to stay, even though like she clearly was ready to go. And I was able to just move some energy around and like communicate with her. And like my partner and I basically just like let her know from here all the way to Ohio that like it was okay for her to go, and she passed within like a day or two of us doing that energy work. And I don't know if I would have been able to like move through that without reishi. I don't think I made the connection until right now. but it's kind of scary. Like, it's kind of a scary medicine for me, but yeah, one that is connecting for me. And in other news that like feels unrelated, but I think is related, we just got a kitten, and this is like, I've never really had a pet. Like, I've wanted a cat since I was a kid and was super allergic and just couldn't. And it's been like some inner child work for me. Like 10-year-old me is like losing her shit. Like, I cannot believe every day that I have her. And the time that she entered our lives, and like the time that my partner's Thea left our lives, like, it's very seamless the way it happened. And I feel like there's something to that. I feel like there is a connection with the spirit of Thea and this kitty that's come to us. And yeah, I'm making sense of that. So yeah, moving through a lot, and grateful for this space and the safety that I feel with you all. So thank you. She's in my lap, by the way, so I'm like petting her and trying not to get distracted, but she's sleeping, so let me see, sorry. Yes. That's Buddha. All right, that's all.
Hi, I'm Michelle, they, them pronouns. Currently in Massachusetts, Wampanoag, Ponkapog, and Black Liberator lands. I'm going through a transition as well. Like, I'm moving earlier than I thought I would be, and I don't think I was ready. I mean, I'm ready for it. I'm looking forward to it, but I think I'm just going through a lot of shit, and I'm like, because I struggle with stability, Venus, and Taurus things. So I've been working with Nettle since the beginning, where like they've been like my ride or die lately. But I think I may have to take a break, not necessarily stop the connection, just I've been feeling a lot of anger, and I think they've helped me a lot with boundaries, because my boundaries like didn't exist before, but they're starting to now. But now I think I've just become this prickly like little plant. I'm like, don't touch me, don't look at me, don't even breathe my way. And it's just been anger that's been in my heart a lot. And I think it's like righteous anger that I've never allowed myself to feel. And I always want to cry when we're in circle, because I feel comfortable crying here. But it's been a lot of like shit at home, and it's no longer safe. And I think I need to go back to one of the more grounding herbs to feel more like grounded. But I've also been connecting with calla lilies, because they're one of my grandma's favorite flowers. And I'm like, no matter where the hell I am, I know I have like my grandma with me, and she's been holding it down for me. So I bought a calla lily and I offered it to her. So I've been like crying to the calla lily every night, like, grandma, please hug me. But yeah, I'm like looking forward. I think next time we meet, I'll be in the new space that I think has been a circle before. So, or has definitely been a circle before. So I look forward to seeing how that feels. And I'm just ready to get out of this like fucking like spiritual rut almost, because I think through my anger, sometimes I don't know how to navigate it. And I get some thoughts that I'm like, this isn't right with who I am, but it's the way my anger expresses. So I'm learning how to navigate that. And it's just been that. And then also like my dreams haven't stopped. I keep getting these also like apocalyptic ass dreams, and I don't remember when the last time I slept well was. So my body's like catching up, and it's like either you sleep or we're gonna end up in the ICU again. So yeah, thank you for holding space.
Hey everybody, Mikhail, they, them. I'm a little low energy today. I'm on Lenape lands, so-called New York City, New York. I'm feeling spread pretty thin right now. I think there's a lot of intensity moving through community. There's a lot of rifts in community. It's very unclear how many of those are manufactured from the outside and how many are genuine, just like burnout. Because, you know, this is a place with a lot of visibility and there's a lot of like, you know, power that I think people are scrapping over. One thing that's been happening that has had a lot of support from plant allies is that I've been doing like public offerings of Black and Indigenous histories in this place. And I did my first two, which I was really glad to have done the share, and I was glad to have done them as like a way to support bands of unrecognized Black Lenape people that live in New Jersey in support of their food sovereignty, medicine sovereignty garden that they're building, which is dope. And I was able to be in ceremony with the chief of the Turtle Clan, and that was really dope. But like, there's a lot of political implications behind that, and so that's kind of led me on this journey of, you know, I've always identified as Afro-Indigenous since I was a kid, and like, I think there's been very little recognition of what that means to the greater world outside of people that are Afro-Indigenous. I don't think there's been a lot of discourse about it. And so my whole life I've been like, just been like, well, people are going to be anti-Black to me all the time. I'm just going to deal with it. And so I think now for the first time, a lot of people of our generation are like wanting to have these conversations and like work through it. But then I think I've become like a kind of in the middle of a lot of these like bigger discussions just because I happen to step into like kind of a public space as these discussions were starting. And so that's been a lot to hold. I've also been doing a lot of like trauma supportive work with folks that have been in encampments and on the street, which has been dope because we've been using different community garden spaces. And so there's been some really supportive plant allies, you know, like next to us, and just inviting like different beings into the space, inviting like bees. Sorry, y'all, I'm like on somebody else's iPad. It keeps sliding down. You know, just bringing in different like pollinators and just like revealing the ecosystems that are like really just in the summer, just bursting forth from the cracks in the concrete and just like growing in spite of everything. So that's, I think, brought a lot of our resilience out. Roses have been following me through the season, and now I went to the beach yesterday, and I saw beach rose hips for the first time this year, and I was like, it meant so much because I've been like so bonded with them since like, you know, April and like March. Like I've just been like really following roses, and they've been like speaking with me. So that felt really special to see. And then every time I do these like public kind of time travel offerings, I've been rocking with doing this infusion of reishi, burdock, and honey, which
I did like, I forgot to do it for one ceremony, like in the past like 3 weeks. Like I didn't have it with me. I was somewhere else. And I was like so like out of whack and like off balance. And I was like, I need my concoction. And it was just like, so it made me really grateful to have them like in my corner. And yeah, there's been like a lot of really hard decisions, a lot of like just entanglements and like intensity and like, you know, I'll joke like my partner will be like, well, good thing you have your team in your corner. You know, you can always trust the plants that are on your team. And so that's really felt like nourishing and like uplifting and strengthening. Yeah, that's what's going on over here. Thanks for listening.
Did everyone get to share who wanted to share today vocally? All right. I am Sochicot. I am newly on Lenape lands. Tenemos una lluvia de brujas. I know that that's common saying in the islands in the Caribe when the sun's out, but it's raining still. La lluvia de brujas. I don't know if they say it anywhere else. That's where I experienced it. That's happening. So I'm in my little house. That's my loft. That's my kitchen situation. Where's Unicorn? Oh, Unicorn's all the way up there. That's my basket. I keep my projects in there. That's how I get up to my house. That's my little seating area. It's still in progress, but that's my view outside. Maybe you can't tell through the mesh, but I can see pretty clearly right out to the magic land. I made it. I didn't think I would. I've had parents incarcerated. I've had cops wake me up. I'm mentioning some of the shit, you know, not for sympathy, just sort of to name the context of like, I've had a lot of hard, really shitty things happen in my life, and jarring things, and nothing, I feel like, tops 2020. 2020 is like, I don't know. I was like, you know, my mom's like, yeah, you got, you know, they all prepared you for this, you know, she's saying. And I was like, I don't know if anything could have prepared me for 2020, you know. It's such a hard temporality of time, you know. Over the last month, I got to realize a dream that I got, you know, this isn't just living in a tiny home, right? Fetishizing a tiny house movement, right? Or hating on people who like live in cities, right? Like that's not it. You know, this for me, it's, I have another homie who's in a tiny house too, another Mexicana, who's like, it's kind of like we're glamping, you know? And I'm like, yeah, we are kind of like glamping, and I was like, but really though, you know, many of our ancestors like built temporal homes, or homes that they could move on their backs, you know, or homes that could be pulled to different spaces, because we were nomadic during times of the year. We lived in this season because that's where the berries were, that's where that was blooming, that was, you know, the tides were gonna get us, or the floods were gonna take down our homes. And then on this other part of the season, we moved to these other spaces, you know. And some of our